Hey everyone, we are doing number 10 today. Today being garbage day. So there's all this mechanical grinding outside, which I hope doesn't. 10, Thursday, November 25th, 2021, writing process. Hi, everyone. I'm sure this will come in several parts. I don't know how many several is. Do you call two several? It would be difficult to document all of my thoughts on writing in a one-page journal entry. Instead, I will divide those thoughts into multiple entries. Today's, what's your writing process? People who are close-ish to my writing occasionally ask me this. Close people know not to, because I'm slightly uncomfortable answering questions when I don't know what they mean. And process is a pretty imprecise term. If I ask for clarification, it usually becomes, what do you listen to while you write? But even that question is difficult for me to answer honestly, because mostly I listen to my keystrokes, the steady plucking of productivity and the long silences between percussive spurts. I also read my sentences out loud as soon as I finish typing them, and I listen very carefully to my enunciation, checking for a hitch in the cadence. Maybe some word is out of sync with its peers or unfriendly to breath. That's mostly what I'm hearing and paying attention to as I write. But those are my own sounds, and no one is interested in anyone else's activity noises. Music, though, I'm fascinated by that too. What songs do people play while doing what they love, and why? My answer here is Dragon Quest songs, or Koichi Sugiyama's work, if I want to be taken more seriously. After stating either version, very few people care. For most, any answer is pointless. It can only sate the cheapest curiosity, akin to Yankees or the Sox. That Connecticut barber chair conversation is not on the verge of becoming interesting, unless it enrages the person holding the shears, I guess. With music, though, there are only a couple of people who acknowledge my answer, probably because I listen to Koichi Sugiyama's work, is a very specific response, and I state it with so much plainness that it falsifies an impression I have selected those songs for a scientific reason. What qualities of the music make it effective? Or some such follow-up. When asked this, I wonder if my interrogator's playlist has just become vulnerable to revision depending on my next sentence, as though an aural milieu can be administered like a drug, imbuing anyone with its literary voice. It's a controllable and potentially prescriptive feature of any writer's process. Perhaps Neil Gaiman simply discovered a magical song, and I too could harness its magic if I only knew what it was. Back to Sugiyama and my reason. It's a subjective one. Objectively, I don't even know if the songs are good. I'm pretty sure they are, because the role-playing world eagerly forgave every troubling report of unseemly nationalism. The forgiveness we extend to Wagner is far more impressive, but with both, it reveals how much we value beauty over humanity. And my devotion to Sugiyama's beauty is held with a fierceness that only subjectivity could generate. How could I be objective about it? His notes encant a sort of sorcery that rewinds the world and deposits me in a time in which I was completely free. The last days before life's first real responsibilities were draped on me. Since then, I've had this permanent burden of personal and professional drapes dragging behind me like a corny wedding dress. I get so tangled in it, it begins to feel like my winding sheet, and I can barely write or breathe until I entangle myself. And Sugiyama's songs help with the untangling. They encourage my mind to wander off in adventurous directions, unburdened by the relentless ambush of demands for my time. That's when my writing is at its best. And I hope that suffices for an answer to Yankees or Sox. All right, time for dinner. Happy Thanksgiving, me. Okay, so obviously I wrote that on Thanksgiving. a year and a half ago or whatever. And it was that Thursday. Today is trash day. That was Thanksgiving. But a little more commentary on music and its role in my writing and in the environment I create for writing. I actually prefer CDs or some sort of tangible media, not because I'm trying to be like, a relic of like American antiquity. I just there's some quality of physical media that helps establish an environment, set a scene. I don't know if I'm not explaining this well, but think about like coffee. With coffee, uh, there's the aroma, there's the taste, obviously, there's the production of it, you pour in water over. There are all of these qualities of coffee that help create a environment. And if someday like the Fitbit, like it has a little dial on it that's just like attention, and you turn up the attention dial, and it does the exact same thing. It's like adenosine blocking or wakefulness that coffee gives you. I would still drink coffee. And it'd be weird to people who weren't coffee drinkers before, because like, why would you use these like bitter, desiccated beans and like rehydrate them and put them in your mouth? And so why would you do that when the Fitbit does it for you? It's like one habit can help assist other habits, I think. And that's what coffee is. That's what physical music is to me. I still feel like I'm not explaining this well, but let me say that with writing, there are times when I don't use music at all. There are times like when I'm doing my final draft. I've come up with the ideas, the outlines, and the initial sentences and initial revisions, also, and I'm doing a final draft. I do that in silence, not just because it's distracting in the way that like mechanical grinding is distracting. It imparts qualities that I don't want. Now, listen to, I already did Koichi Sugiyama. Listen to Yasunori Mitsuda. Listen to his work, okay? It's like if magical songs exist, these are them. I mean, they're more than uplifting. Like, I don't know, it like changes your gravity, these songs. And as if I'm writing and listening to Mitsuda songs, then this like the emotion is just overwhelming in my sentences. No thanks to me, I didn't do it, right? If I reread those sentences at a later date that I think were finished and magical, but I'm listening to contemporary pop, I wonder why I didn't delete those sentences upon completion, right? So I need silence when I'm doing my final draft so that I know what the sentences are capable of on their own. Okay, I'll end there. I hope your Thanksgiving was wonderful and the next one is also good and your life is filled with much more food than trash. That's what I hope today for you. And I will see you again soon.